First, we have Nixon Boumba, a Haitian human rights activist with decades of experience working with Haitian civil society for human rights in the context of the extractive industry, development, and humanitarian aid. He currently serves as a consultant for the American Jewish World Service, a co-sponsor of today's event. Jetry Dumont is a co-founder and director of AyiboPost and AyiboStudio. After earning a degree in finance at Keene University, in 2014, he returned to Haiti. AyiboPost has been behind some of the very best investigative journalism and reporting on current issues in Haiti, and we're very fortunate to have him here with us today. Arielle Dominique is our third panelist and is the founding executive director of the Miami-based Haitian American Foundation for Democracy, a national organization whose mission is to engage the Haitian American diaspora in promoting policies that foster democracy, human rights, economic development, and inclusion. Born and raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and a member of the Haitian American diaspora for the past 22 years, she's worked as a consultant, minister, and counselor for the Embassy of Haiti in Washington, D.C., and is also the co-founder of the Haitian Ladies Network, the largest global platform connecting more than 75,000 women and girls of Haitian descent. So the structure of today's discussion, I know that the invite might have said that we go until 4 p.m., but actually we have until 4:30. So we were planning about an hour discussion with our panel before opening up to questions from the audience. If you need to drop off before 4:30, that's also fine. So just to begin, and I should also say that just before we close, we'll also be circulating a short survey about the event to you all. So just to kick us off, Jetry, many of us here today know that there's been increasing violence in Haiti over the last few years, but may not have the full picture. To start us today, can you help us understand what is happening in Haiti right now, particularly with governance, gang violence, and the security response?
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be with all of you and to be hosted by UUSC and AGWS. I'm very, very happy to be here. We're going to talk about a subject that is difficult for me. I'm sure it's difficult for Arielle and Boumba too, because it's close to our hearts. And it is something that we don't have very often. We don't have a lot of perspective. We cannot watch it from afar because we are deep in it. Our family are in it, our friends. So it's a very, very personal matter to us. The first thing I want to say is I'm going to try to give you the perspective of me personally, how I live it physically, and maybe that will give you an understanding geographically how it is. So I live in Port-au-Prince. AyiboPost is in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. But the area in which I operate, we could say it's central Port-au-Prince. I live in Sujo and AyiboPost is in Paco. They're very close neighborhood. So next to Paco, where AyiboPost is at, you have the region of Bapud Shoes. Bapud Shoes used to be a lower middle class neighborhood, very, very a very cultural place, very important in the cultural panorama of Port-au-Prince and Haiti. Bapud Shoes now is mostly controlled by gangs. So the neighborhood next to where I spend the most of my time is partly controlled by gangs. Now, if you go further south, you normally should have had access to what we call the national highways, highway number 2, we call it. That gives access to the entire south of the country. We don't have access to that because it's controlled by gangs. So my family is from the south. My family is from Leogane and Lekai. So I have family members that I haven't been able to see for the past 3-4 years because I don't have access to that road. Now, if you go up north, on the road, you get to of course, if you go up north, you're going through many neighborhoods. You have the neighborhoods of Bel Air, you have the neighborhoods of Cité Soleil that you've probably have heard of. You go further south, you go to the region of La Plaine, the Plain, and then you get to Canal, and then you get to the National Route number 2, the National Highway number 1, the National Highway number 1. Now it's controlled by gangs. So if I want to go to the north, there's no way you can go to the north without going through territories that are controlled by gangs. And all the neighborhoods I just cited are controlled by gangs. Now, if you go further east, in the region of Kwadebuke, you've heard of the Katsamaozo gang, which was the gang that kidnapped the American missionaries. I don't know if you remember this 2 years ago. They controlled this entire area. This area used to be the last rural area of the what we could call the metropolitan area. That was the closest to the Port-au-Prince metropolitan area. It used to be an area where there was a lot of farmers, and all of them have lost their land, control of their land, and the capacity to produce food to survive themselves. Most of them have left the area. So this is physically how I feel when I am in Port-au-Prince. So you can understand how the gangs have controlled the Port-au-Prince area. Now this has a lot of negative effect. One of the effects are the first one, let's say, of course, it's the people that live in those cities. According to the UN, around 500,000 people have been displaced for the past 3 years due to gang violence in the Port-au-Prince area. But it doesn't stop here, because the rest of the country was economically related to Port-au-Prince. So you have rural areas, you have farmers around the country that used to provide produces to Port-au-Prince that cannot work anymore. But not only Port-au-Prince, they don't have access to the national roads anymore. So they don't have proper ways to sell, proper ways and proper markets to sell their produces. So it's economically and physically, in terms of security, it is a situation that is dire. Now, politically, the last time we had elected officials in Haiti was in 2021, in January 2021. Elected official. So I'm not talking about the last elected official on the entire territory was on January 2021. So since then, we've had what we feel like the state is losing control completely of the territory, and the government is acting in a way that is self-destructive. The successive governments that have taken power for those past 4 years, including the ones that were elected too, because we tend to forget this, but all this really started under President Jovenel Moïse, even though he was assassinated. And a lot of people tend to, in the Haitian culture, but also in the world, when people are dead, they tend to tell the story that they were great, but in reality, it's under his term that all of this really started. Or at least, even though it goes further down in history, but it's under the regime that he presided and the political party that he presided. Now, that being said, this is the local aspect of it. This is the national aspect of it. There is an international factor too. most of that violence is done by arms and ammunitions that are produced in the United States of America. Several UN studies have shown that most of up to more than 95% of the guns involved in crimes are American guns. So there's a huge problem of American guns coming south and landing in Haiti and its neighbor countries. Of course, Haiti has the most difficult situation right now in the Caribbean and Central America, but it's a general problem. It's a problem that goes beyond us as Haitian, but beyond the Haitian state too. And it's a problem maybe for that audience. It's where that audience can have an impact because it's a problem that we ourselves alone, we cannot resolve. It is an American problem that Americans need to deal with and needs to address. And it feels like, because we follow American elections quite closely in Haiti, it seems like it's not even on the priority list in the political discourse happening in the US from both parties, from both major parties anyway. So that is the situation. I personally, I know after all I've said, it sounds like there's no way out, but I personally, I am still very hopeful and positive for the future of Haiti. It might not be in the short run, but in the long run, it is. I'm very hopeful. We tend to forget this because we always compare ourselves to. Not only do we do it, but the world does it too. We compare ourselves to the United States because right after, in that region, the first republic to be freed from European imperialism was the United States, and then right after it was Haiti. So they tend to compare us, but what is always forgotten in that comparison, it's that Haiti is a nation that was entirely built by the Black slaves that were in slavery and that decided to live free. Whereas in the US, it's a revolution, or some people might say it's a big reform that happened with people from British that are British related that decided to create another nation, but they had the base and the structure, the infrastructure that was already there to create a nation. So it's not the same. So that's why I always tell people that Haiti is a beautiful story, and we need to understand that we are a very young nation that started from nothing. So all those things, considering our history, considering the potentials that the many potentials that we have, I stay positive on Haiti. I feel like I've been talking a lot, so I would like to listen to other people.
Thank you so much, Jetry. That was just a really useful explanation of what's happening right now. And I just wanted to thank you and the whole panel for spending this time with us and on subjects that are so close to your heart and might be difficult to speak on. But Jetry, you really gave such a wonderful segue into my next question, which is about the historical roots of what's happening in Haiti right now. And I was wondering, Boumba, if you could give us a little bit of background here, like how do we understand what is happening in Haiti right now, about like what has laid the seeds historically for this current crisis, and what role international powers, including the US, has played in what is unfolding right now.
Thank you, Mayuri. Thank you, Jetry, for bringing me to your description you just gave to the situation in Haiti. and rooted it on the history of Haiti. And as many of you may know, we, and just said that we're from Africa. We get kidnapped from Africa. We got imposed to live here in America. And so many people forget that African people get kidnapped, refused from the beginning, being enslaved by the European. And the roots of Haitian people of living in Haiti is like fundamentally marked by the resistance. Haitian people, we are resisting to be free, to refuse the enslavement. We are resisting to live, for our freedom, for our self-determination, and for living as a human being. This is what we brought to the rest of the world, and trying to break the circle where Black people were not considered as a human being. And from this resistance, not only the resistance against the empires like European empires or US empire, it's also internal fighting for our self-determination too. And we got our independence in 1804, right after 1804, as Jetry said before, and we have to build a country, a society from nothing. And one of the main mark of this new society is the role that private property will play. Private property is like, before the independence, the property was human being, slave, and land. And right after the independence, everything started there. What kind of society we want to build? And we could see at the time two different orientation of society. It's from people just got to the settlement at the time, because most of the people who fought for independence, they arrived like right after a few years before the revolution started in 1971. And from there, and they have to fight against the state. And then in my presentation is the role that the state will play in the Haiti post-colonial society. It's very important to understand how we get there. The state was created by, men, from the army, but those people used to be, owner of slave or property. They're trying to keep those privileges in this post-colonial society. And those people enrich themselves from 1804 to 1825. And it's very important that you have to memorize in terms of, and to understand this situation. And the society created by the state, it's like a copy paste of, they're trying to create a copy paste of colonial system. This colonial system was and is rejected by the Haitian nation, the nation, which is like, very, very original creation from different tribes from Africa with different linguistic background, with different conflict, and created the new society here. But this new society was in front of the state, which is represented at the time, which represent so far, like continuity of the colonial harms or racism, and like represented white supremacy as a way to engage with the African people. This model is very important to understand. And when in April 1825, the elites, the state and the elite, its elites decided to pay the fines for the ransom. And once paying the ransom, they reorganized the social structure, the society, to be able to pay and also to guarantee the privilege in this post-colonial society. Even historically, we consider Haiti for the long 19th century as the most thrived century in the Haitian history. But all the time, this the thriving society we had should be considered for the external market, external empire like French, US, British. It was the same for the colonial society, because Haiti used to be considered as the peer of the Antillean, but it was not for the Black people. But the entire 19th century, the society was organized and create two directions in the society. Most of people like peasant, which is we play the role as the soldier and the army to fight for independence. They become peasant, they become farmers, they become rural people, and they created two kinds of society: the country inside, the country outside. When we are talking about the country outside and inside, it's not geographically said only, but it's also we are outside of the society, privilege, institution, and so on. For example, and from Toussaint Louverture to until I think Aristide, after the dictatorship, the Haitian official language was French, but even less than people speak French. Or the economy should organize to be valuable in the external market, and with any regards for what people need to eat, just to understand the direction of the orientation of the state and its elites. But we have this long battle, not only against the interference of empire, external empire, but normally within the society. And to manage these contradictions, they have a pillar. One pillar was the Haitian army, intervene all the time to repress, to control, and also to organize coup d'etat, and when things trying to escape from themselves. And we spend like 1 century at this situation until at the end of 19th century, the US empire came and trying to take the control all over the Americas and start to occupy countries after countries in Central America and Latin America. And then from the US occupation and Haitian, we frame the society and the model they want to put up for themselves. One of the main measures they took is they're trying to concentrate the country on Port-au-Prince, and a way for them to have a better control on the situation, the movement. And also reorganize the army as the repressive tools, and even they are not on the ground, but the army continues to be the repressive instruments. And Haitian people organized big resistance against the US occupation until after 19 years of occupation, and US left, but the political domination is still controlled by the US until the Cold War between the East and West, where the US, supported the most horrible dictatorship in all America with the Duvalier. And to control that, they keep everything on their repression, the Duvalier dictatorship, until they left the power in 1986. And it's a great moment to understand the second independence, the way the Haitian nominated this moment, because it was like internal colonial, and controlling in the country. From this, at that time, we've been seeing, so many organizations, grassroots organizations, from peasant, women, even voodoo practitioner, and also we've been seeing human rights organizations will become after the dictatorship, the civil society in Haiti, organize themselves into with one main demand was like how we can change the nature of the state. For so many people, they think it was a battle for democracy, but even we didn't know what was mean at that time. I mean, what was the meaningful of democracy for Haitian people? But it was like how we can change the state. that's reflect so clearly in the Constitution, what 1987, with the Constitution trying to give more space to people from the grassroots, from burden to have control on the political process. This Constitution was never applied, even there are so many challenges to apply this Constitution. And we brought to 1990, when the first democratic election in Haiti. The first democratic election in Haiti is not only in Haiti, it was all the Americas, because now there's no East-West, conflict. The unique way is to go to democracy and to take the power in the election. Haiti was the first country, went to take the power in the election, elected, very popular priest, Aristide, and with 67% of voters. It was and people felt at that time they were able to influence the nature of the state, the power, and trying to, it's for people who live that time, they feel themselves, we are at our moment, this is a momentum to change everything. 7 months after a coup d'etat was made by the army with the support of the US and Haitian elites. We spent 3 years under this coup d'etat. After this coup d'etat, to resolve this coup d'etat issue, there's 3 main arguments came on the table. One is like for Aristide to accept to come back with US military and the US Army airplane to Haiti, and just to understand we back and take control of this country. And the second is that we have to accept the neoliberal package and to open the society to the global market, mostly to the US market. It is what it is today. And also accept to destroy the Haitian army, because this Haitian army has a very good records in terms of organized coup d'etat and repression. But this is what's happened. From there, this movement, I don't know, I have 5 more minutes, right? Yes, okay. From there, and we assess, we are spectator of a internal battle between within this movement, getting power and with Aristide, and now they are fighting one each other, and also one each other also to apply what the international community, US mostly, imposed to the country. And we've been under this situation from 1914 to 2004. A second coup d'etat happened in Haiti. With the second coup d'etat, it was we don't have no more Haitian army. The repression and also the control role as played by international force like UN. And we spent this time, Preval was elected in 2006 and got the power for 5 years. And we, at the end of Preval terms, it was the earthquake. I don't know if people are thinking the weight of the earthquake and the situation we are living in the country. For myself, that has a lot of connection with what we are living. With the earthquake, it was a way to break the democratic process in the country. Even we were not totally agree with what Preval did, but we have been seeing a process to build new democratic feature, and also people was involved. Even myself, I've been at the front line of resistance against Preval in terms of protecting labor rights, for example. But we know we spent a moment like 5 years of Preval. We were very hopeful that things could be changed. After the earthquake, what we've been seeing international community oppose election as a way, even we were under traumatic moments, like so many people died, so many people lose some part of their body. And so the economy was like destroyed by the earthquake, but they imposed election and put people they want in the power. And yes, you put someone in the power, how we can keep them in the power, this is another way. And from there, we had at the time, minister and the ground, minister played this role and to keep Martelly for 4 years in the power. And at the end of the 4 years, they're trying to organize election to keep the power back. And this is where big social movement, even it was led by political actors against the interference from the US international community in Haiti. And what we saw in 2015, the election, they organized very fraudulent election in the country. There's a big protest against this election, and the election was canceled. And they will reorganize the same election. And the people who got the power, Jovenel Moïse, Jetry mentioned before, Jovenel Moïse was elected with 500,000 people. And the total population of voter was more than 6 million people. How you can, govern, lead a country with this lack of legitimacy and support. And the support they have to keep Jovenel in power, they organize this constellation of what we call now, again, for me, it's like a military and political instrument into repress and to control. And at the same time, more than $16 billion spent in the country to rebuild the country, and also in terms of money from Petro-Caribbean, no one can say 5 years after where the money went. And there's a big movement against where the money went. And also it was the big momentum, is a very timid momentum for wake up the social movement on Petro-Caribbean, a Petro challenge. And they don't have any response to this question, where the money went. And the demand for accountability, for transparency, and for ending the impunity, they didn't have any response to that, and use the gang as a way to criminalize and to repress those protests. And doing that, even Jovenel himself, who was the president, he got killed in 2021. And from there, what we can conclude, there is no state in the country. Even there are some people in power, but we can't call them there's a state in the country. The historical border between the people, the nation, and the state, the result is the state is losing the battle, but the crisis is where the alternative will come from. This is where we are now. And the situation we saw on the ground with the control of what they are calling army group, but army group is how we can continue to keep the situation in the way it is now until we got the solution. This is why the international community, they're closing their eyes on this situation, because they don't have any solution for that. And we heard and we are hearing they are tired about Haiti, but I think they are tired about being not able to understand Haiti and to understand how to deal with Haitian people and a way to respect the self-determination and Haitian resistance thinking and also action. I think I'm good now.
Boumba, that was such a difficult question to distill the entire history of a country in 15 minutes. But thank you so much for that extended explanation, and and for going through all of that. I would like to understand a little bit more about the current responses of civil society and the media in Haiti right now. This is a question for anyone, maybe Jetry or Boumba, if you wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, and the civil society, we've been seeing the entire movement burn after the end of the dictatorship. Was like most grassroots organizations that mostly peasant, women, and laborers and human rights organization. And the civil society is playing a key role in terms of keeping the resistance and trying to play the role, the vigilance. I don't know if the word is correct, in terms of what the international community is trying to do in the country, and also the internal elites in Haiti. and documenting, human rights violation and abuse, playing the role and to say one thing it is not in the good direction. The civil society is now it's the more important period than the political parties, which is a main piece in the liberal democracy in the country. But I think the civil society now, they're trying the best of themselves, even we are living under such as state of siege. As just to describe it, the country is caught. There's no way to go to the north without paying, and the gang, to go to the south to paying the gang, and Port-au-Prince. And when we're talking, there is the Port-au-Prince metropolitan area, which is like from Croix-des-Bouquets to until Léogane. They cut, the main center of Port-au-Prince, it's controlled by the gang with like 15% without control. It is not without control, but they can do kidnapping in this area when they want. And the civil society now, they're trying to resist, they're trying to survive. It's like more than to survive, and trying to play the best role they can and to keep the dream for another state and another society. This is what the civil society are playing, the role that, for example, the media like AyiboPost and also human rights organization plays it. Now we are leading a circle of interview with this organization. We learn a lot. We learn a lot about what they are doing on the daily basis. Even they're trying to work from home without no electricity, without no access to internet. It's like very difficult for them and at this moment.
Thank you so much. Jetry, did you have anything to add on the role of the media at the moment?
Just like in the US, and it's a global phenomenon, there's a huge lack of trust in media in Haiti. So media have always accompanied Haitian social and political fight. Radio, for example, the written press was very, very important in the resistance against the Duvalier regime. And then radio was very accompanied the fight for democracy and the settling of democracy. And now the press in its diversity is facing a lot of problems, due to lack of trust of the public, but also because of many mistakes that were made in the past decades by the press. That's the state of the press right now. That being said, there is a lot of organization within the media world, within the press, that are trying to do their best. I represent one of them that are trying to do our best, given that situation, and trying to expose and fight and do the basic journalistic work, exposing corruption, because corruption is a big problem in what's happening, and also giving the necessary space to the people that usually are not heard, to the people that usually are not listened to by the state and the government. So we're trying to do that on our side, but we also understand that it is a sector. It is the press itself in Haiti is in a difficult situation. And I have to say that those things are also related to the shock of the 2010 earthquake, but also economic shock wave, the shock of the many quite in reality, for the past 15 years, there's been a depression, an economic depression happening in Haiti, and the press has suffered a lot. And a lot of the press were not ready to adapt to the new technology happening, to the new way of communicating. So it's been a difficult time adaptation period for the press, especially for media, rural media that are outside of the big cities. They've had a lot of problems adapting to those new realities.
Thanks, Jetry. I think that common thread of the 2010 earthquake and the tremendous impacts that it had on Haiti can never be understated. Arielle, turning to you, so we've heard a little bit from Jetry about the American problem of arms trafficking and gun running, and from Boumba about the shameful history of US intervention in Haiti. You've worked intensively for years with the Haitian diaspora in the US and have always seen the potential for the diaspora to be a powerful political force. What do you think about the role of the Haitian diaspora in influencing US policy towards Haiti, and how does that change under a Trump administration?
Sorry, having technical difficulties. Thank you, Mayuri. Thank you so much again for inviting us to speak. Thank you for UUSC for organizing this panel. At a moment where the world seems to be going on fire, Haiti feels really abandoned and forgotten. And we know with all these conflicts around the world that we're not necessarily at the top of the agenda. So again, I'm thanking you for bringing this conversation forward, and for so people can understand the history, as Nixon explained, can understand how Haitians really feel, personally, how their lives are really in daily danger, and what is going on, what are the dynamics. So our allies who wish to support us can understand better and can understand how to do so. Now, in terms of the diaspora, yes, I've been here for a very long time working with diaspora organizations around the country, and we are concerned, we are affected, and we are involved. So concerned because, obviously this is our country of origin. We have an umbilical cord to this country, and we are also fearful of what's going on. We're seeing the country so rapidly. So it's never been because, all these historical reasons that Boumba mentioned, it's never been a country that has been thriving. But what we have seen in the past 4 to 10 years, and particularly the past 4 years, we have never seen something like that. So we are affected because our families are there, because we are affected financially, because people in the diaspora have their families who are being kidnapped, they're paying the ransom. So again, affected, concerned, and also involved, because the diaspora has built its organizational capacity throughout the years that it's been coming to the United States, amongst other countries. It has built its capacity in advocacy for refugees, in advocacy for Haiti. So we have always been involved in Haiti and connected to civil society, connected to families on the ground who let us know, and via radio, via the Haitian American media, we know all the time what's going on. And with now, the technology, people are even more informed and they can see live what's going on. So again, we have been involved, and one of such example is with the organization I lead. We understood, when we were formed, actually, we were formed because we understood there was a governance problem in Haiti. And with the access that the diaspora and the members of the board that I of the foundation I direct, they understood that we needed to use our access, our political muscle in order to influence U.S. policy. So the policy would be more attuned to Haitian voices, Haitian society, that that there would be policies that would be more courageous from the United States vis-a-vis Haiti, and more constructive, a more constructive relationship, because we've had a relationship between the U.S. and Haiti forever. So we were involved. We understood there was a problem in governance in Haiti, as it was explained, and from that problem led, all the security issues that were, that deteriorated so rapidly. So we partnered with the civil society collective, the Montana Accord, to advocate for better governance, for lack of corruption, etc. And we understood that one person could not lead the country, that it was not going to lead to anything productive or any advancement for the society. So we advocated for years with our allies to change the situation. We are not near a perfect situation, so there needs to be more involvement from the diaspora. But when it comes to the diaspora particularly, I will say that although we have been involved, we have had alliances with other communities, organization, not just for Haiti, but for the immigration issues. I mean, I don't need to tell you, because you've seen here firsthand how the Haitians were brought forth at the forefront of the election. So we've had to fight, we've had to be advocates, we've had to build allyship. But I think that now we are at a point, although in terms of a diaspora, we have had a lot of success in terms of individually and collectively, in order to build this power, to be able to influence U.S. policy and U.S. government for domestic policies, but also policies that affect our country of origin. But we need to build structures of coordination, and that's what we're doing. So, for example, we 12 organizations got together to form the Haiti Diaspora Collaborative to do research on how we can build this power and the structure in order to have a more coordinated voice, to be able to bring forth Haiti issues or issues that pertain to the diaspora here, to be better equipped advocates and build that force to do advocacy. So now this is where we are. I think that, it's been explained very well by both Nixon and Jetry. And I know that we're going to delve into solutions in terms of what it is that we can do to support Haiti and to support civil society and to support diaspora groups who are advocating for Haiti. But I could say broadly that staying informed and with organizations like UUSC that people are already connected to, or American Jewish World Service, or diaspora organizations such as the Haitian American Foundation for Democracy, staying informed, continuing to be interested is the first thing that I would say. Because again, Haiti is a small country. They are, but it's the neighbor of the United States, and it's extremely important that we don't forget about its existence, and we don't forget about, supporting it, because we're really going through an extremely hard time for our citizens there. So that's what I have to say. And I know that there will be questions on specifically and precisely on how to advocate and what legislation and what organization. So we'll delve into that a little later. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Arielle. Yes, that's also an excellent segue to our next question, which is really about what we can do to help support and stand in solidarity with Haitian civil society in the diaspora. So Arielle mentioned some things like just simply staying aware. Jetry and Boumba what would you suggest for people on this call, how they can best stand in solidarity?
As both of us, Jetry and I said, we are hopeful for Haiti because we are living a moment of opportunity. Sorry, a moment of opportunity, potentiality to change. And what we ask for as solidarity is like the same, how we can, in your daily base, bring the Haitian situation and make it clear for people who are trying to understand what's happening on the ground. I think it's the first step to educate people about Haiti. The second, and from the US, and I have reflected on the situation, how there's a big shift. And I told Jetry that the other days we had a conversation, how the capital of Haiti is now in Florida, in the US. So many people doing harm to Haiti, they are in the US, they're in Florida. And what we could do to support and to take them accountable to what they're doing in Haiti, that could be a way to understand. For example, even, you know, the ammunition and arms, you know, sent to Haiti by the Haitian diaspora and Haitian people from the US, and what we could do to, you know, from your work, from what you're doing on a daily basis, that would be very important to understand. And the second, I think it's like how you can engage yourself in changing the policy internally in the US toward the rest of the world in Haiti and also the rest of America, and how we can support the voice of Haitian and also the voice of the US and Haitian diaspora, and for US to stop doing harm to Haiti and to give ourselves the opportunity. Even we can fight between ourselves and we finally find a way to go beyond of the conflict we have. Even we are not organized their revolution, but I think it's something we need to understand that in the current situation we're living in Haiti, it is not the responsibility of Haiti. International community could play certain roles, but they are no longer legitimate to have legitimacy to play the main role they are playing in the way they are doing now right now. And there's no real consideration to what Haitian people are doing. And in the US, the international community, the US mostly is the most targeted by the Haitian popular understanding about the problem we're living in the country. Even we have our own responsibility too.
Oh, all right, Mayuri. So I'll go. I think that I'll, in addition to Nixon, I would say that, you know, it's to support, like we said already, being educated, keeping yourselves informed, and making sure that people attend these panels is absolutely the first step. You can't support or not support what you don't understand. But in addition to that, for specific legislation, Boumba alluded to arms trafficking, specifically from Florida. I mean, the gang members say it themselves. They say, we don't make ammunitions, we don't make arms, these things, and we don't have an airport to go get them or do the trafficking ourselves. So this is something that's coming straight from the United States, meaning that the United States has control and power over what's leaving its shores to Haiti. So there are a couple of legislation that we can share after that with the public, with the attendees. But there is the Caribbean Arms Trafficking, the Catch Act, actually. There is the Haiti Criminal Collusion Transparency Act, which is a bill that where it codifies that the State Department has to provide an annual report to Congress on ties between criminal gangs and the political and economic elite in Haiti. There's the American Regional Monitoring of Arms Sales Act, and that bill seeks to disrupt firearms trafficking from the United States to Latin America and the Caribbean. There is the Stop Arming Cartels Act. This bill partially addresses international criminal cartel exploitation of weak American gun laws. And then finally, there's the Hope Help Act, which it's a program that supports duty-free access for various apparels and textile products from Haiti to the US. So these are specific legislation. And then, as we had said, there are organizations that are, advocating on behalf of Haiti, whether it's organizations such as UUSC or diaspora organizations such as the Haitian American Foundation for Democracy, or civil society in Haiti, the organization that Jetry heads, which is a media, and its role is extremely important in Haiti, because there are very few very few media that are not corrupted and that are doing this courageous, really, and dangerous work that AyiboPost is doing. And there is also, to go back to here, I think the theory of change for us in Haiti, and yes, it's a country of opportunity. It's a country where 70% of the population is under 25, and I don't know if I have the right number, but it's not far. And so it's a country of young people with dreams, with energy, with dynamism, that love their country and want to live in it. So there is always opportunity when you have a young population like that. So we need to make sure that we support Haiti, support these civil society organization, but also the theory of change I was saying is that if you have a strong diaspora, a diaspora that's able to flex its muscles and to play their role as advocates, then you'll have won part of the battle. So it's also important to support organizations here and to strengthen the diaspora here so it could be stronger, more powerful advocates for their country of origin. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that in the big picture, I think it's important to make sure that the 600,000 immigrants that are here are not are treated fairly, and that TPS is renewed. So I think this is a very important call to action as well, because you've all heard the language and the discourse during the election and know that 600,000 Haitians are, at risk of being deported. So that's what I would say. And I guess we'll send this information to the attendees in terms of the legislation.
Yes, certainly. Thank you so much, Arielle, for such a detailed and useful answer. Jetry, I wanted to turn to you about possible steps that you would recommend, but maybe I can also combine it with Julia's question here, which is about narratives. So she says, given the parallels between different crises in Haiti and around the world, such as Palestine, for example, particularly in terms of systemic violence and international neglect, what lessons can we draw from the approaches of other genocides and crises in framing their narratives, especially through the lens of Haitian media? How can we help to foster greater exposure and build trust within and outside the Haitian community? So it's a big question, but any thoughts that you have, we'd really appreciate.
Okay. While I'm trying to answer the first question, can you put the second question so I can read it while speaking? Okay. So to the first question, I would say that let me piggyback on what Arielle was saying a little. The first thing that in the United States, the people that are listening right now, the attendees, can do, it's to help the Haitian diaspora organizations that are trying to protect the many Haitians that are here in the US and that have their basic rights threatened right now, to help them fight the system and the U.S. government that is threatening their rights, or I might say the future U.S. government that are threatening their rights. So this is the first thing. Now the second thing, it's also within the U.S., because what we tend to forget is that the U.S. has a huge impact. U.S. foreign policy has a huge impact on the realities of Haiti and also many other countries in the region. The U.S. has always been, and I dare to say, an unfair big brother to Haiti. Haiti contributed to the Revolutionary War in the U.S. We sent people to fight the British with the soon to be United States of America. But when we became free ourselves, the U.S. has never gave us back what we openly gave them. The U.S. was the last country this hemisphere to recognize Haiti as a nation in 1862. And the only reason the U.S. finally recognized Haiti was because there was no other way around. It was ridicule. It became ridicule to not recognize Haiti anymore. So what I want to say is that very often Americans look at other countries' problem and say that, how can they be in such a mess? Very often. What the hell is going on there? Why cannot they put it together? But it is not said enough in the US that every single US policy decisions has impacts on the region and the world. We are in that region. We have a lot of link with the US, commercial, but also we have our biggest diaspora is in the US. So for example, when you have policies that are implementing, that are affecting Haitian American and Haitians living in the US, it affects Haiti. When you have policies that promotes the selling of guns or the non-control of guns, the lack of regulations of the trade of guns and ammunition, it affects Haiti. When through whether it's IMF or the World Bank, you force the country of the region to lower their tariff on certain goods, it affects their national economy. When in 2010, the US, the State Department decided who to push for to become the president of Haiti, or who would be a better choice for Haitians, it has a direct impact on Haiti. When the way the US aid, very complex structure is involved in Haiti, and most of the contracts goes to companies that don't understand anything about the reality of Haiti, that are based in Washington. That's where that's who the contracts are given to, and it's all transactional. There's not even a semblance of trying to understand what's happening in that society. What are the realities of a society? It affects Haiti. So I guess what I'm saying, it's policy matters, foreign policy matters a lot. And sometimes, I was about to say sometimes, but very often putting pressure on your government, on the legislative side of things, it can have a positive effect on what's happening in Haiti. So if you are well informed and you know what specific bills, Arielle just mentioned them, that you can push, that you can prevent from being enacted, it will have a big impact. Of course, there's also plenty of organizations in Haiti that you can help, but you need to understand that in the big scheme of things, it's secondary. It might make you feel better to support an organization in Haiti. It might have a big impact. We would be happy if you, Boumba and I would be happy if you support organizations, and also organizations that we know that are doing a good work in Haiti. But the first and foremost thing that you need to do is it's to be involved in policy happening in the US, because it has a direct effect on what's happening in Haiti.
Thank you, Jetry, for such a clear call to action. Just while you're reading that next question, I think I saw a hand raised before, maybe from Ketley. I'm not sure if you want to put your question into the chat in the meantime. And Jetry, did you have any response to Julia's question that's in the chat there?
Yes. Okay, the question, it's a difficult question. What I would say, it's understanding that if you are aware that a certain institution, what I'm saying, and by institution I'm saying the American media, has biases in dealing with some major world problems. You mentioned the Palestine issue and also Haiti. You have to take this into consideration when you are absorbing media content. And one of the good ways of doing that is to diversify your media nutrition, I would say. And the best way, to me, is to try your best to consume media from the place itself, from journalists there, from organizations that are based in the country. Not because they will certainly tell you the truth, or they will reflect an exact reality of what's happening there, but because they are closer to the truth than a media that is far away. And also another aspect that is important, it's that very often in the media world, it is overvalued, the fact that you have distance from a subject, and therefore you can be more rational about it. What my experience is showing me is that very often it's the opposite. When you get the news from people that are close to the situation, that might be not necessarily rational about it, because they can be emotional about it, but you tend to get informations that have an added value to it. Emotions have value too. The fact that you get the information from a journalist that is scared for their life in Haiti, it can give them a perspective that somebody that is in their office in New York cannot give you. Also, so that's what I would recommend. It's to have a diverse media nutrition.
So
I would just to add, Arielle, go ahead.
No, I will add quickly that we are actually now undergoing research to prove the biases and to bring data into this. There's a a professor who's done some research to show the biases, but we need to update the research because, changing the narrative is something that doesn't just happen. It's something that is organized, structured. So again, there's this project going on to prove that there is biases with data. And there's also, and bring in the Haitian American media and the media that is directly involved in covering Haiti most regularly. So bringing them in to speak about the data that the research provides. And there's also, via the IT Diaspora Collaborative, this structure that we're building of all these diaspora organizations, one of the components, and again, that takes time, but one of the components is to have this communication arm where we're able to do this in a structured and systematic way. So there are organizations in the diaspora that are thinking, there are allies that are thinking about this changing the narrative, but right now is to, like Jetry said, diversify. He talked about the media nutrition. I had never heard that term, but that's totally correct. And to make sure that you have good or reliable media sources and you're connected to organizations that can direct you to reliable information about Haiti that treats Haiti not just as the poorest country of the Western Hemisphere, but that has a different lens and different approach. Boumba.
Thank you, Arielle. But what I want to add quickly to what Jetry and Arielle just said is the fact that this narrative was built to isolate Haiti and also to continue the history of punishment on Haiti. Just understand, French and the other Western nation show Haiti as a way to other Caribbean or colonize. If you want to take away the word of Haiti, you will be like Haiti. It's like, create that Haiti as a fair nation. Even, we don't talk so much about that. Even we are living this crisis, in Haiti, people are creating day after day life and also imagination in this country. Even production, Jetry mentioned that before, and so many products from Haitian farmers from the south to the north, everywhere in the country, they are still producing. And we heard a lot about this conversation, about this topic that Haiti people are living on their hunger. Sure, but the role that the insecurity, the criminality is playing and keep people on their hunger, it's part of this kind of, I don't know how I can describe it, but for example, just to see the ammunition and weapons to provided, supplying this army group contribute to silencing and to hiding, what people are doing in Haiti and keep the attention of people, the focus on the state collapse, but where they're seeing what people are doing to create alternatives in this country.
Yes. And just while anyone from the audience, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Just on that question, that really important point, Boumba, that you raised about the work that people are doing and the positive narratives that are left out of the media. I know that in crisis times, you mentioned what civil society was doing and surviving is a lot of the work. And in these crisis times, it can be difficult to make space to imagine the future. But I just wanted to ask about some of the ways that civil society is working to disrupt the root causes of the crisis with some longer term systemic work that has been happening for many years now. Would you be able to talk to us a little bit about that? So here I'm thinking about, the peasant movement, the anti-corruption movement, the transitional justice movement.
Yeah, I can go into this. The not only the peasant movement, we've been seeing so many efforts even from some private sectors, actors in the country in trying to challenge the crisis in Haiti. For example, from 2020, under COVID, and also the conflict between Dominican Republic was supplying us with food and trying to keep Haiti as like a province of themselves. We've been seeing people getting involved in trying to have kind of self-determination in terms of producing. And we can see that even in Port-au-Prince, Jetry, just in the street in Port-au-Prince, we've been seeing products from the farms selling in the streets. Even it's more expensive because they have to pay have to cost the gang barricades. And at the same time, the cultural actors in Haiti now, and the situation in Port-au-Prince, people are leading festival, art, poetry, and theater festival in Haiti. It's a way to resist, and also it's a way to create new imagination. They don't talk about that because this kind of narrative and to take Haiti as as a pity nation. We need pity from people, and also I like to say from 2021 at the Jovenel Moïse assassination, we can ask ourselves why we need a state, because the state doesn't have anything to see with our life. And after the earthquake in the South, where people from the South require support and relief, but we've been trying the best of ourselves to provide what we can provide to ourselves. Without the gang or the constellation of army group, the country could be more thriving on their state. This is for me, and people keep the focus on to understand there is no election, there is no people in the parliament, and we've been saying people in the parliament, people in the elected position without any regards for what we do. And what AyiboPost is still doing, for example, and the middle of Port-au-Prince it's incredible. What other journalists, God journalists is doing, they are doing and are incredible. Even peasant movement to now, they are taking the risk and to take the word to the north, to the south, and to support their own from the ground and producing, trying to adapt themselves to the huge, climate, obstacle, and trying to produce now into trying to be very. Jetry and I, we have this conversation too, but it's more than with our culture, with our ways of life, into product, and to have the food in our plates. This is something that we don't talk enough about. That it's happening too. At the same time, Barbecue and his colleagues, they are keeping the whole Port-au-Prince under their control.
Just checking the chat for any additional questions from the audience. One point that I just thought would be worth expanding on a little bit was, Boumba, you had mentioned, and this question for anyone really, but you had mentioned the independence ransom briefly in your discussion of Haitian history. For people that don't know what that is, would you be able to explain what it is and what the kind of current movement towards France and demands from France are in relation to that?
This is a big mistake if I mention it quickly, because this is the main pieces to understand where we are now. And Jetry, you can help me, because I know you just have a couple of conversations and a book, very interesting book about that, the fear of Black Republic, and also mention the role that the U.S. Black people play in trying to support the Haitian revolutionary. The ransom is this money we paid to French to be recognized. It's like, a ransom, not a debt. People talking a lot about debt. We didn't have any debt to France. we pay the ransom. But for being able to pay the ransom, we take land from French itself, from other nation, and to pay this ransom. But to pay this ransom, so many other things, very critical things for like education, health system, social infrastructure to support better life for Haitian people was neglected because we had to pay for this ransom for like more than 1 century. And this ransom has a lot of to see with the US occupation in the country and the role that, for example, Citibank play, and also big US companies trying to take over the country and take Haitian, what they are calling debt, and go to the central bank and to take the Haitian reserve and to go to the US with this to reserve it for Haiti. It's like a way to infantilize Haitian people and Haitian state, which is, for me, I don't have so much thing to say if they are infantilize Haitian state, because this Haitian state is like want to be a puppet in their hands. And the ransom, it's very important to understand the social structure in Haiti today, because use the ransom to reorganize the society and to use the money and to enrich the Haitian elites, and also it was for me a very clear moment of the new neocolonialism in Haiti, and also to put Haiti under the domination, under the subordination of white supremacy, European people, and colonize the country, enslave people in the country. But the ransom we will commemorate, and we will mark the ransom in next year. That marks 200 years when the French imposed the ransom to Boyer government, and also that has so much to see at the same time what Boyer did, toward Dominican Republic. Even it was like solidarity appeal from early Haitian post-colonial nation, because they appealed Haiti to help them to emancipate themselves from the Spanish colonialism. But what Boyer did and what the Haitian elite did to pay this ransom, we are paying that today. And when you heard the narrative, more use narrative about Haiti is the most poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Haiti is not the poorest country in the hemisphere. It was the most impoverished, and the ransom is playing the main role in impoverishing this country. Jetry, would you like to add Arielle too?
Yes, to add to what Boumba said, it is the ransom happened at our formative years. It happened exactly 21 years after we were declared independent. And it was a debt that not only was impossible for us to pay, but it's a debt that lasted long because it was sold and resold to other banks. So, and in the case of the ransom, very often, at least in the past, there was an I think friends, especially friends, people put it together as a reparation for slavery. It's not it. What I like to tell to people is that, of course, France owes us the reparation money, and we expect to get it at some point, but this is not it. This is actual money that came out of Haiti's finances. At the time, it was worth 150 million. And now the valuation of that debt that was given from Haiti goes from 2 billion to people, evaluations going from not 2 billion anymore, but 3 billion up to $20 billion. there are some historians, notably Piketty, Thomas Piketty, who won the Nobel Prize. I think he went over $20 billion and said it should be around $100 billion that France owe Haiti. So it is not. I remember there was an article in AyiboPost when the French president at the time came to Haiti. I think it was in 2015 or 2014, and he said France has a moral debt to Haiti because of that. It's definitely not a moral debt. It's cash money debt. So this, of course, we have reparation money, but this financial debt is something that still has a huge impact on Haiti. And it really destroyed the structure of, for example, the agricultural architecture of Haiti. Most of the debt was paid by coffee farmers because coffee was the main export of Haiti back during that period. So our main export, since it was heavily taxed to pay that debt, naturally farmers in Haiti stopped producing coffee. So the amount of possible gain that we could have made if we had a more robust coffee industry is huge. And our coffee, even though we don't have a big industry in terms of quality, is still recognized as one of the best in the world. So not only in terms of cash, but in terms of potential economic gain we could have had if we didn't pay that ransom, it would have made a huge difference in our country. It is first a French issue, but then it became an American issue because some of the debt was bought by American banks too, notably Citibanks, as Boumba said. So it is a Western problem that needs to be addressed. Next year, it's going to be the 200th anniversary of the ransom because it happened in April 1825, and next year it's going to be the 200 years anniversary of that. So it is something very important in our history, and that still is having negative effect on our on the country.
So I'll quickly add, I think that beyond the historical facts that have been laid out very clearly by both Jetry and Boumba, beyond the fact that, we need to make sure that Haiti is always at the forefront beyond the global reparation movement. But I think that it explains very clearly when we talk about narrative change, why Haiti is where it is today. And it's not a question of, well, why can't they get it together? We have Haiti fatigue. It's a question of that this country was decapitated from the very start, from its inception. And the world has a moral history, at least to know the story and to provide reparation and restitution when it comes to when it comes to Haiti. It's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, legally it's restitution. So we need to tell this story beyond those spaces that already know the academics and the global reparation movement advocates. We need to let the public know about this history, and particularly next year, as Jetry mentioned.
Thank you so much, Arielle. That's a great reminder. And the people on this panel, I know, including yourself, have been doing that really important work for many years now. So we're at 4:30 now, so unfortunately have to close. But just before we wrap up, my colleague Alejandra will be putting a survey in the chat just about this panel. We're trying to, you know, assess our impact and be transparent about that. So that survey's just popped up. And just while folks are answering that, I just really want to thank Arielle, Jetry, and Boumba for spending this time with us and for sharing such important wisdom. I really feel like to be part of these conversations between Haitian activists is such a privilege. And yeah, one of the extraordinary things about my role is that I get to witness conversations like this. So thank you very much. And then in terms of follow-up after this event, we will be sending out an email with some of the actions that were discussed on this call, and really encourage everyone who attended to stay engaged. And thank you so much for spending this time with us here today.